Hey, a microphone might be nice. One moment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just regular lights tonight. No fancy revolving light. Well, they're not fancy, but um, want to have a real talk with you. Um, Hang on. I'm just getting my tablet booted up because I'm running a little bit behind tonight. If I've got real serious problems with buffering, please let me know. I am currently downloading Dirt Rally 2.0, so that's downloading for the stream I'm uploading, so it shouldn't be an issue. But if it is, let me know, and I'll pause the download. Another horrible shooting happened today, and I'm going to get to that. I don't have a funny monologue or anything like that. I wanted to have a real talk with you, a real discussion with you. Before I do, though, I've got I told you last night when I closed the show up that I was going to love on my best friend over there. And I did that very thing. And couldn't resist taking an image when I did so. And that's Daddy Dog there. She was not amused, not even in the littlest bit. Not amused at all. That is, however, the longest that she's ever kept my hat and glasses on. Normally, there's no way I would have ever had time to snap a picture. But last night, she blessed me with a picture. So, good old Daddy Dog. She's incredible. She's over there snoring now. So, as you know, or I assume know, there was another terrible shooting today. Madison, Wisconsin. As it is, unless anything's changed, 3 are dead and another 6 wounded. And the dead does include the suspect, and it's I don't know what to say. I don't have words. I don't have words. I'm certainly not one of the gun control crowd. That's for sure. That's not the answer. But there is an answer. And I firmly believe that I have a couple of things that really need to be discussed about this topic. Obviously, of course, mental health is something that needs to be discussed. But even beyond that, because there's more to it than that. How would I know? Where am I coming from? Well, I only know one other kid that was probably lower on the totem pole than I was in school. I wasn't popular. I wasn't liked. Surprise, surprise, huh? But what I was strong. I was strong mentally. I was strong physically. I was strong knowledgeably. And I can tell you that it was merely that strength that prevented me from being somebody that lashed out like this. I can tell you as a young man, I thought about it more than once. Never went past a short thought. Thank goodness. But we really have to take stock in who we are and how we treat others. You will absolutely see me go after people. But pay close attention to those that I will go after. Pinball Preparedness is one of my favorite people to go after because he's a dirtbag. As my dad would say, he's useless as tits on a boar. And I've dealt with so many people like him in my life, it's unreal. And they're always the same. They always have themselves bullshitted into thinking that they've got the upper hand. Well, Kenneth Petrika, pinball. All you got to do is ask me, man. I will actually give you my home address. Show your ass up, and let's talk. Same goes to TJ Morse, Bear Independent, that likes to walk around with his chest out and condemn anybody that thinks any differently than he is. See, I've dealt with people like this my entire damn life. But it was that strength that I had, that inner strength, that made that difference. I can assure you. I can tell you about things that I have done. If you almost ran your own brother over with a late 70s T-Bird, raise your hand. Done did it. Police report to prove it. You see, I had an incident happen when I was rather young. And at that point in time, again, I'm a different mindset. I am stronger than most. I don't know if it was 3rd grade, 4th grade, but I had a kid named Sean Kuhn. And we were getting ready to go on the Halloween parade. And I was dressed like a kitty cat. And I was proud of my costume. Why was I proud of my costume? Because my mom sewed it with her bare hands. I didn't have one of those cheap bullshit plastic costumes bought from the store. I had what actually looked pretty cool, a cat costume that my mom made. So, before the parade, I had to use the restroom. I went and used the restroom. And Sean was in there and decided he was going to pick on me. At one point, he pulled my tail, in which I don't remember what I said in return to him, but he hauled off and hit me in the chest and knocked the wind right out of me, and I dropped like a sack of potatoes. And it didn't take long. By the time that I could breathe again, I was spitting mad, and I would have done anything to have been standing toe-to-toe with him then, when I could breathe again. That didn't happen. However, that story does continue later on. I believe I was done graduated from high school, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Shortly, and just barely graduated. And I was at the local Hardee's. Police report on this one too, so. And I was there with the guy and his girlfriend, and well, he was getting stupid with his girlfriend, shoving her around and stuff. And I was getting pretty pissed off. 'Cause homie, don't play that. And so right as I was getting ready to deal with the situation, this same character, Sean Kuhn, came busting through the doors. Before I had time to do anything, he done bitch slapped Jason like, 3-4 times. Jason fell to the ground like a sack of potatoes, like literally crying. Then he decided he was going to turn on me. That didn't work out so well. No, I didn't whoop his ass. I didn't have a chance to. But he took 3 shots, and I'm going to be real with you here. I don't like to fight because I don't want to hurt people. And so he took 3 shots. I successfully cross-blocked all 3 and stepped in on him. because there's a little secret. I don't fight at arm's length. That's all I'll say about that. Well, I can't tell you that I'm the reason why he ran off out the door. And the reason I say that is because right as I stepped in on him, we heard the police sirens. My girlfriend at the time was working behind the counter and she called the cops, as per her job. So, I can't tell you that I was the reason why he ran out the door. I don't know. I could have been part the reason. I could have been none of the reason. It could have been the sirens. But I can guarantee you, had I had another 20 seconds, he would have gotten a piece of me that he never thought was in me. I learned how to deal with people like this. My dad, a rough son of a bitch. And I think hereditary-wise, I got the most of my dad out of any of us, especially the attitude. I can tell you that there was a time when I was in Centralia, Illinois. I was with a few friends. One of them I went to school with here, named Joe Hess. Police report on this too. And there was two young guys in a car. Howdy, Veronica. Two young guys in a car. We were at the little strip mall kind of thing where everybody did their cruising and stuff. And behind this car was a white, I think it was a Toyota pickup truck. There was like 3 kids in the front, and there was like a boatload of people in the back of the truck. Well, this car stopped. The truck stops. Everybody hops out and surrounds this car. And they're trying to get the passenger out of the car to fight. All those guys on one. Well, if there's something that'll get me to fight at the drop of a hat, you do something like that. Joe Hess can confirm we cleared that parking lot. Now, one of the guys that was with us didn't fare too well. He wound up in the emergency room. But I'll tell you what, there were a whole lot of young men that knew that night happened. I guarantee you that. And it was bare hands. I didn't have any types of weapons or anything like that. You do not want to back me in a corner. It's not pretty. But I'm stronger than most. And I understand this, and I know this. Why? I'm 52 years old. I'm not looking for sympathy, but my life has been hell. Just the pain I dealt with as a child from my father, whether it be physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, was enough to probably break the average person. Today, I find this funny. So Pinball made a video, pissed off a bunch of people, a.k.a. Kenneth Patrica. And he doesn't want his name out there. Well, maybe you shouldn't have put a copyright strike on me, you dumb son of a bitch. That's how I know his name. I thought it was funny because I got a peek at the comments before he had a chance to delete them. And it was hilarious. But as the typical weak human being he is, he deleted them. Then he come out with another video. I don't remember how long it was, 16 minutes or some odd. He come out with a 16-minute butthurt video talking about how he wasn't butthurt. You know how those go, right? In that video, he got to talking about YouTube channels and how there were some losers. Me, I'll hold my hand up high. I will hold my hand up high. Kenneth, any day of the week, brother. I suffer from moderate COPD. I will still stomp a mud hole in your ass, sir. Why am I saying this? Why am I talking about this when there was a school shooting? Because what these kids need that are pushed to this point is somebody like me stepping in and putting a stop to it. The problem is, in today's system, with today's rules, the people that do the good deed get in more trouble than the people that did the bad deed. And until we fix that, until we stop victimizing the victims, it will not get better. It has not a damn thing to do with the weapon use to create the carnage. It has everything to do with everything that led up to that point. This is coming from somebody that was pushed to that point time and time again. But I had enough strength not to give in. I had enough strength not to put up with it. It continued on until I was an adult. Again, police reports to verify this. When I lived not but like a few blocks over from here, I had law enforcement pulling this shit on me. I told them straight up. They didn't listen. Oh, they didn't listen until there was a particular Facebook post made that they felt that they needed to question me for. Okay. And I sat down. One of the officers was Darren Twyford. When I first started driving, he was a rookie, and it was kind of comical because me and him butted heads nonstop. But this one time, this last time that I had communication with him, we actually saw eye to eye, I think. I put up with, I don't know, year and a half of harassment from the police department. And I was fed up. The car that we were using, Ford Focus, don't remember the year offhand, went down. Head got burned up in it because the owner of the car wouldn't listen to me and replace the damn reservoir for the cooling system, which caused the coolant to leak out and burn the motor up on the way back from Lambert Airport. So we had a car that was tarped up in the backyard as per city ordinance because, again, I was harassed nonstop. We had to do everything by the letter. And so I told my wife to go grab the car. Well, obviously I took the tarp off of it. Told her to grab the car, pull it around. I would check belts, hoses, fluids, all that good stuff, make sure it was ready to go. Power steering pump was out on it, though. That sucked. 88 Bonneville, I think that was. And so the plates were expired on it. And, we had to put insurance back on it. And so my wife was getting ready to do that when, sure enough, here comes a cop pulling up. And he had talked to my wife. Pat had woke me up, told me that my wife was out there talking to the cops. Because I used to have a different sleep schedule. I'd stay up all night, sleep during the early morning. And so I got up out of bed, went out there, and I was not a pleasant person. And he's standing there, and he's, got that chest puffed out. And I start talking to them, and he starts doing that number, where they grab their duty belt and they kind of adjust it. Well, that's an intimidation tactic. I know about that. And it was a good thing he didn't reach his hand down. It's a good thing. I made that statement in that Facebook post. So there was a concern that they had that maybe they ought to find out if they got anything to be concerned about. No, leave me the fuck alone. That's all I want. Leave me the fuck alone. And thankfully, as a result of that little interview I had at the department, that was the end of the harassment. Well, that, and I called the mayor. That was the end of the harassment. But so even as an adult, I put up with bullies. People that wanted to push me around. If we want this to stop, we have to stop that. The only thing for evil to prevail is good men to stand and do nothing. I know I'm paraphrasing that, but that is so true. If we want this to stop, we have to stop it. Because not everybody is strong. And that's okay. That's fine. That's not an insult. That's not a bad thing. You don't know how many times I wished I was a bit weaker. Because it's lonely when you're a strong-willed person. It's lonely. You piss off a whole lot of people. I pissed off a lady today. I don't give no fucks. There needs to be good people stepping in and standing up for these individuals getting picked on. Now, do I know that's what was going on in this situation in Madison, Wisconsin? No, absolutely not. I have no idea. But how many countless cases have I seen? Now, I want to take this a little bit further, too, because this is important. When we do see a serious mental health issue, we need to stop enabling it, and we need to work on it. See, at one time, we didn't have a psychology system, a psychiatric system, that was all about pointing fingers and taking pills. I can tell you that in the 90s, and this was the last of it, but in the 90s, it was about finding the root cause of the issues and working on that. We have to get back to that. You had an incident to where gender-confused young lady walked into a school in Nashville and committed an unbelievable atrocity in that school. Now, had she not been enabled, and had she gotten the proper, I'm emphasizing proper, mental health care, and not enabled with the lunacy that she was led to believe, that could have been prevented. You don't build strong people by enabling them. You build strong people by being honest with them and being supportive of them. Not in some lunatic kind of way. And I'm sorry, but gender dysphoria, that's something that needs to be addressed head on and stamped out. I know there will be people that disagree with me on that. But we have only begun to see the horrible atrocities from these individuals. And I'm not just talking about the gender confused people. I'm talking about people in any sense that have been enabled in their unhealthy mental health. I suffer from PSD. Really bad. But I've got a very specific trigger. And I won't share it. I have got a very specific trigger. Chances are really high you'll never find it. But my PTSD is rough. I don't really go anywhere. Ever. I stay my ass at home. Why? Because of that trigger. If I stay my ass at home, I don't have to worry about that trigger. And if I am at home and have to worry about that trigger, God help them. I don't have all the answers to this. What I do know is we have to address it properly. We have to start being honest with ourselves. We have to start being honest with these kids. And we got to stop standing up to pieces of shit like Pinball Preparedness, who uses every opportunity he can to stamp down on people. At least Bear Independent isn't quite that bad. But people like that have to step down on every single person for whatever reason they put themselves on the pedestal, they need to be stamped down instead of propped up. And unfortunately, largely as a society, today they get propped up. That's the cool thing. That's the cool thing. I've said it a million times, I'm wired different. And I ain't gonna change. Because I have a foundation. I know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm strong enough to stand up and state it and back it. I feel for everybody involved in this incident. And I'll say it again, the problem isn't the weapon that was used. The problem is everything that led up to that. And until we stop being a narcissistic society and start owning, and I'm not saying all of you need to do that, because most of you probably aren't that way. Most of you probably aren't the type of people that will just run everybody into the ground. And that's great. But those that do cause a lot of damage. I hope and I pray our town doesn't see an incident like this. But as several others have said here in town, our town is ripe for it. we have a very cliquish kind of town, and there's definitely different classes of individuals here. And that is kept alive from school-age children on up till adults. It's time good people stand up. It's time we have those honest conversations. And it's damn well time we start punching the bullies square in the damn nose and letting them know we ain't having it. Until our society is ready to do that, instead of propping these people up as being cool because, oh, they're the football star, or they're this, or they're that, then this will never stop. And it doesn't matter how many guns you ban. It doesn't matter how many rules and policies you put in place. It doesn't matter how many metal detectors are at the doors of the school. Until we actually deal with the root of the problem, it will continue. How many school massacres have happened overseas to where a mentally agitated individual went into the school with a knife? And the body count is even higher than what there was in Madison, Wisconsin today. How many times? It's not the weapon. It's not the rules. Although rules need to be relaxed on the good people that try to prevent the problem, that try to stop the problem. Until we do that, you might as well normalize this. It's sad but true. Not a lot of people are forged in strength by their upbringing. People act and react differently to that. While another person, and with my same upbringing, may have caved and been weak-minded, weak, emotionally individual, I've got family members that are. I didn't go that way. I did it. I started to. But I'm not one that gives up easy, and I damn well don't give in. I really don't know what else to say on this. We have to be willing to fix this. And until people start finding more empathy within themselves, and not just feeling the empathy, but taking action on it, there's nothing that'll help. When I first started getting the notifications for this today, my head just dropped. Not again. It's going to continue to get worse until good people damn well do something about it. Be one of those good people. Shalom.